Alright, so in this one, I want to go over the future of Ultras and what they could look like once they become summonable. The best way to compare this would be to compare LF units from when they, well, first released to how they are now with Zenkais, without Zenkais, how strong they are on release compared to when they were so weak or broken, whoever you're referring to, on release. So to look at the Ultras, obviously we just have Vegeta and Goku. Toshi did say we will get summonable Ultras eventually, and it's just obviously a thing that's going to happen. Like, no doubt, probably summonable LF Ultra units, which will come, I would assume, probably by 4th anniversary. I think they won't do it until we get a full color wheel of free Ultras, so we have, obviously, red and purple cover each other. Next one will be a blue Ultra. My prediction would stay in the Namek Saga, where it is a, you know, Pod Frieza, maybe. A Final Form Frieza. A Final Form Full Power Frieza. Piccolo. Maybe a Gohan and Krillin. Maybe a Ginyu Force. You know, whole entire, like, their card art is their entire force. Not just Ginyu, not just Jace, not just anyone. It's their entire force. Maybe, I don't know, Dozoria and Zarbon duo unit. I mean, no one would care about them as an Ultra, but they're free to play. So it's not like you would lose anything from getting them as an Ultra, right? I do think that is what's going to happen. We are going to get a full color wheel of summonable, or free ones, before we get any summonable ones. But to look, obviously we are at just 2. And to compare to LFs, like I said, LFs were weird, because we didn't get any LF units that were just straight up free, right? We got some later on, after their release, but overall we didn't get any free LF units. And my order for them is completely out of whack on the bottom, because I started during 1st anniversary, so I pulled Vegito, then I pulled I pulled them out of order in the beginning, so everyone up to probably Goku, Super Saiyan 3, is out of order. So the first one we got was Beerus. He wasn't even considered a Legends Limited, and, well, they changed them, they gave him an LF when he Zenkai'd. But Beerus, was he good or bad? The first LF ever to release. He was bad. Very bad. Beerus was not be able to run on any team. Now, that is more due to the game's age and their timing, right? Beerus came out, what, a couple months, a good amount of months, actually, before the 1st anniversary. And with that, God Key wasn't a fleshed out tag. God Key didn't even exist, honestly. Beerus was the only unit on God Key for a solid couple months, because we didn't get Super Saiyan Blue Goku, Vegeta, Whis until Anniversary, right? So Beerus, while he was okay with his blast damage, he just wasn't runnable on any team that existed. All he had was God Key, and you can't run him on a God Key team because there was no God Key other units. And then Green, Green, Red. Color-based teams were not ideal at the time because, again, Beerus came out at a time where Regen was powerful, Sun Family was powerful. I believe LOE was a little bit strong in that area. I think Metal Cooler came out in a similar time frame. Again, I'm not sure because I didn't play the game at that time. But Beerus came out at a time frame where himself existed. I think Super Saiyan God Goku existed, but that's 2 units, and that's not enough. You could try running him, but he wasn't that great. He was probably one of the worst LFs on release until recent history, which we'll get into later on. But then we continue. Gohan, a menace. Gohan had Sun Family. Gohan still has Sun Family to be run on. Even back then, you could have ran him with the green Goten Super Saiyan and yellow, I think, Super Saiyan Trunks. While they weren't the best options, you could still build a hybrid-based team. The purple Super Saiyan 2 Gohan existed at the time as well. Again, not the greatest team, but Gohan himself being able to go neutral, which obviously he's always had, and he just amplifies that nowadays with the Zenkai, was always a goated LF unit, and technically the first legendary finish on release, because, again, Beerus did not have one on release, while Gohan did. To continue just going through them a little quicker here, Goten came out. Goten was good. Goten was good on Sun Family. You had a full team already built for you with Goten's banner of Otherworld Goku that comes back to help them beat Broly. The Gohan from that movie as well, and then obviously the LF Goten. He himself wasn't the craziest thing, but him paired with LF Gohan was a menace to society. You could just run him with Otherworld Goku, sack that guy off. Okay, now Gohan's going to do extra damage, more damage. Goten's going to do better because he's run with the Gohan. He's going to buff Gohan, then your Gohan would be an astronomical god, you know, just like he is nowadays. because you had all the support flowing from Goten, from Goku's death buffs, all this stuff. So Goten in himself wasn't the greatest, but he had very good blast damage. He still has decent blast damage to this day, and was really great to run with Gohan. Super Vegito, actually, because Super Vegito was the actual anniversary. Goten was the bait before anniversary. Very good bait, to be honest, because, I mean, Sun Family just shit on everything for, what, a month or two when Goten released? And his banner was the best banner format for LFs yet. And now we have the shit we have now. But Super Vegito, the greatest unit in the game, right? That's just how it was. Super Vegito and Vegito Blue, both anniversary units, the greatest anniversary, well, units in the game on release. Gohan was the same essence, Goten wasn't. Namek Goku, again, another situation, the greatest unit in the game on release. Super Saiyan 3 Goku was pretty mid. You could compare Super Saiyan 3 Goku on release to LF Super Saiyan 4 Goku that we have up top there on number 4 of the row. Pretty mid. He didn't do crazy damage. He didn't do anything absurd. He just kind of existed. And that's all he was meant for. He was just meant to exist. He was on a weird step up with Kid Buu, which both units were very negligible at the time, because you still had Godki, you still had Regen, you still had Fusions who were shit-stomping everything, and then you had Sun Family with Namek Goku. You didn't really need the green option of Super Saiyan 3 because he wasn't doing enough damage to warrant bringing him, right? Like, you could have brought the setup that we have nowadays of Sun Family with blue, red, green of the Sun Family trio of LFs, Namek Goku, Super Saiyan 3, and Gohan. But it's just that Super Saiyan 3 weighed you down so much on release, he really wasn't that great. And he kind of took the spot for the most underwhelming LF when he released. For sure, he really wasn't that great on release. Nowadays, he's fucking substantially great, but on release, he wasn't that great. We got Vegeta as well, following months. I think that was, what, Black Friday? Yeah, we have Vegeta and Rose. Vegeta was good. He was really good, actually. Yeah, Vegeta was great. Godki was still going strong, even without that many buffs after first anniversary. Godki was still going strong. Getting Rose and Vegeta just amplified Godki even more. Like, they weren't the craziest team on top of the meta, but once they got those two, they got crazy buffs. Vegeta doing all he does was very good for Vegeta family and Godki. Piccolo and Frieza. Piccolo was strange. Piccolo came at a time where you could run regen or you could not. Again, you look at it here and look what unit came after Piccolo and Frieza. The LF Super Saiyan Blue 2nd anniversary Vegito. So you think about it, this banner came out, what, March-ish? March, right? I didn't miss any LF till there. As you can see, I'm only missing Frieza. Everything else is pulled in order. Yeah, this came out in March. Then we got anniversary in, like, July. We did get an LF for a good couple months, which was good for build-up of CC and everything. But Piccolo and Frieza, both are pretty negligible. I guess Frieza was pretty good. I don't know. Piccolo was fun to use, I would say. I don't think he was really that dominant on release. I think he was good, like... But if we look at the banner, Saiyan Saga Goku was probably used more than Piccolo. Bardock was probably used more than Piccolo. Frieza, then you probably use Piccolo like the 4th, and then Raditz the least from all the Sparkings on those two banners. They did release on a great step up, but the units themselves, I would say Frieza had more impact just because we had, you know, Blue Cooler Zenkai. I think we had a couple decent LOE units at the time that actually allowed you to run the team for it to be like kind of meta viable. But Regen was okay. Again, you got the Kid Buu recently, which was whatever. You still had Buhan, who was still very good at the time, but you didn't really have the craziest options. You know, you had some with Zenkai 7 Buu and all that, but Piccolo in himself couldn't carry the Regen tag as much as Frieza could try to carry LOE with Blue Cooler. Vegito Blue, again, broken on release. The best unit in the game on release, just simple as that. Not much else to say about him. UI Goku, he was good. I think he was a little overrated on release because obviously the new unique ability of extra Vanish Gauge, basically up to 3 times he could uniquely dodge without doing anything. If it was Strike, Blast, Tap Arts, or Tap Blast, he could just uniquely dodge on his own without you doing anything at all. and it allowed for more interesting play. I think UI Goku is very good, but on release, I think he was overrated for being too much rather than being too little. Gogeta Blue and Broly, again, another dual step up. Not really a step up, just more released alongside each other because the anniversary of the Broly movie had popped up for the second anniversary of it, I believe. Gogeta Blue is underrated, but we turned out to look at him and see he was goated on release. We just didn't realize it. Broly was overrated and not that great. I think people overrated him because of Bardock's Super Saiyan buffs, but the unit himself is not that crazy unless your opponent makes mistakes. Gogeta Blue is more of a build-up, slower type of unit. You know, it takes him a little bit of time compared to Broly, and people slept on that, and now we kind of understand Gogeta Blue is crazy. By the way, I'm going over all these to kind of get like a basis, right? Because we're looking at all these LFs and talk about them in order of release, and kind of to distinguish what Ultras will be once it becomes summonable, which it might change a little bit because, you know, the age of the game and everything, but that's why we're going over all these LFs. Majin Vegeta, very strong blue. On release, he wasn't the craziest thing because we also had other Zenkais exist. We had Vegeta Blue, who, in my opinion, was better than Majin Vegeta by a good margin. You guys had a lot of other units that overshadowed Majin Vegeta, but he's still a decent unit to this day and still was a decent unit on release. Very good, like, banner, at least, to release him on. Future Gohan, again, very underrated on release. Nowadays, people respect him a lot more because of how Cancer Hybrids is and can be. But the unit himself is a jack of all trades that can do enough stalling and enough support to warrant using him. But on release, his banner was not anything desirable for most players. Kid Buu, though. Kid Buu had a very desirable banner. Now, with it being a basically just, okay, you get tickets at the end and you have 2 new units. Great. Then one's an LF. You still had Angel Vegeta, who was crazy for Saiyans. As you know, he's still the main yellow you're going to use on a Saiyan-based team, and that probably won't change for a good couple months here unless we get a Zenkai or something like that, or just an absurdly broken Saiyan unit, which we really don't need. He was crazy. Kid Buu, people understood how good he was, but it's kind of similar to the vein of Gogeta Blue. People didn't see his full potential. Kid Buu can get hundreds of percentage of damage inflicted just by himself without support and do absurd damage. My 3-star Kid Buu does good damage to Zenkais. Like, he's a very good unit. On release, I would say people underrated him more than overrated him and thought he was very good, but they didn't think he was as good as he actually is. Rose, pretty on release. I mean, that bleed that, you know, applies to their bench when they're not even in the fight is great. But besides that, he didn't have anything too desirable. Even, you know, 20% chance to take away an enemy's Dragon Ball on Strike Guards was cool, but nothing too desirable. He was just alright. He didn't come out on a great banner with Trunks and Mai. I think he came out with Trunks and Mai, right? Did he? I think he came out with Trunks and Mai. If I'm wrong, let me know, but nonetheless, nothing too desirable, just an okay LF. And then to continue, we have the newest 5 with the top 4, and then Full Power Frieza. To go through them a little quickly, Goku is mid. Goku was, you know, on release, shown to be mid, and everyone thought he was bad, and he is. That's it. Gogeta, underwhelming, and it wasn't just because people, you know, read his kit once and thought he was underwhelming. No, he's underwhelming. He's not anything that you would want a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta anniversary unit to be, when the other 2 anniversary units were both best units in the game. This guy became the laughingstock of the anniversary for 3rd anniversary. Zamasu, very good. Not overrated, not underrated. He's just very good. I would rate him in the same category as Kid Buu. Just that Kid Buu, in my opinion, is better than Zamasu. Very good in what he does and what he wants to do. And then we have Gohan, who is the best LF in the game, possibly. And he's not even a Zenkai. Ah, man. Is he? Is he? I think he's a top 3 unit in the game with Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, just because neutrality matters. But his team, himself, he is a 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10 unit, and was the real headliner of 3rd anniversary. Then we have Full Power Frieza here, who is, if I could compare him to somebody, I would say he is UI Goku's a little too high. I'd say he's like Rose level. Not in, like, you know, usage. I think Rose has better usage than him, actually. I'd say in how people viewed him. He's not going to be run on many teams because they don't, he doesn't have many teams. His powerful opponent, Frieza Force, LOE, right? Powerful opponent wants support unit. They don't really need a yellow. They have yellow DKP. They have yellow Broly even. And I would think yellow Broly in this meta of Sun Family and Saiyans and everything is better than this full power Frieza at like 3 stars. That's just my hot take. If the Broly was like at 9 stars. You have LOE, that's kind of dead in the water because they only got 1 fucking buff. They have Zenkais, but, that's not enough to carry them because their Zenkais aren't as crazy as Saiyan Zenkais, Hybrid Zenkais, Regen Zenkais, a lot of other team Zenkais. And then you have Frieza Force, which he could be run there with the pool in them. The squad isn't terrible, but he's not the greatest unit. He's, again, negligible and comparable to Rose in his usage, where you're really not going to care about him. So, why do we go over all that? To look at what they've done with LFs, and then compare what they can do to Ultras once they become summonable. You see how LF started off a little rocky, right? And he'll say, oh, only Beerus was rocky. Well, yeah, for a little bit, but then you go to Gohan, who is crazy, then you go to Goten, and it's like, okay, they're kind of taking a safe route, right? They're doing Sun Family. They're buffing up another LF with an LF. They're not really taking a risk. Then you look at Namek Goku again, buffing up the same thing. They have a full, color synergy with blue, red, purple as the 3 LFs that all release basically back to back to back, with excluding the first anniversary. But if you really cared, you would kind of see that something like big for Sun Family was coming because they just got 2 LFs back to back. You would assume something big is going to help them finish out that color wheel, and Namek Goku was that. Then we look, Super Saiyan 3 being mid. Vegeta took a break of that, him being very good. Then they had Piccolo, who was alright. Frieza, alright. Then obviously Anniversary comes back. They have to make the new unit broken, except for this one. And then they kind of started hitting their stride, right? UI Goku not being broken, not being crazy, but being very good, helped. Gogeta Blue, same thing. Broly, a little underwhelming to what we initially thought of him. Majin Vegeta, alright. Gohan, alright on release, became better over time. Kid Buu, very good on release, has aged perfectly. Rose, alright. They kind of do this thing where it's like a couple of good, a couple alright, then a couple of phenomenal. And we just hit our, phenomenal unit with Gohan. Super Saiyan 4 Goku, mid. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, mid. Zamasu, alright. Not very good, but alright. Then we have Gohan, who was incredible, and now Frieza is in the alright category. So with that, we can even look at the 2 Ultras we have now, and it's just like, okay, well, Ultra Goku's pretty mid compared to Vegeta. I know people will debate this, and I'm not sure where this debate comes from. I'll be honest, I don't see the argument where people think Ultra Vegeta is worse than Ultra Goku. It's just incorrect. Ultra Vegeta can support. He's doing a ton of things, while Ultra Goku is more reliant because, obviously, the Super Saiyan effect, I've talked about it multiple times, where if you are a Super Saiyan unit on release, you will get nerfed because they don't want you to run him with Bardock, right? Bardock is crazy. He can make any Super Saiyan unit, whether it be an EX, a hero, anything, if they give them normal stuff that other Super Saiyans have gotten in the past, make him look crazy just because Bardock exists. And Bardock is such a phenomenal unit in and of itself. Every other Super Saiyan that comes out post Bardock, being a Zenkai, they are scared to make good, just like this Ultra Goku. So they had an alright one drop, very good one with Vegeta. I do think he's very good. I don't think he is, like, to compare, okay, I think Gohan's the best unit that's been a recent LF. I would say Kid Buu's a pretty good unit that's a recent LF, right? Vegeta hits that category of, like, Zamasu and Kid Buu of, he's very good to good. Like, he's not going to break the game. He's not going to mess everything up and, one-shot you like some other units can. But he's going to do enough work to warrant you running him on teams you actually want to run. On a Saiyan team, if you don't want to run, Zenkais, maybe we don't have Zenkai Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Vegeta can fill that role. If you want to run him on a Planet Namek Saga team, Vegeta obviously fills that role of a purple. If you want to choose over a Pool or EX Ginyu or EX Krillin, I would say this Vegeta is the prime unit, just because you want more damage. Those other units don't really supply damage. Given Ginyu can, but he wants to, like, he's more, like, with damage. Vegeta's just straightforward, gonna hit hard. Ginyu wants to build up a little bit per card used, while Vegeta can just do, debuffs to them on top of hitting them hard already, Vegeta's your very good unit compared to Goku, who is your pretty mid unit. To all go into that, Ultras, when they become summonable, which I do think will happen this anniversary, you know, we are in a little bit of a dry spell here with 3rd anniversary just ending a couple weeks ago, and now we had this little, it's like the first quarter is about to start, and if you don't know what that is, that basically Legends is going to die down a little bit in terms of hype. You know, we just got GT units to release. You know, that's kind of a signature of dying down because GT is not very hype, besides the main thing of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Omega Shenron, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Those are the main hype things, and we didn't get anything even close to that with this new release of Majin and Super Saiyan 3 Goku. So Legends in like the dry period from, I would say, August to Namek Goku. After 1st anniversary came out the middle of August, I believe. So Legends kind of picked up there for then when they had their dry period after anniversary. I would say it's going to be a similar case here. Middle of August, we most likely are getting an LFS next few weeks / this month. Because it's a new month, they get an LF every single month, and we have those mystery tickets from the challenge battle that's out now that we can probably get tomorrow, the mystery tickets. So it would be fair to assume, okay, new LF is coming within this month, right? Because we always get one in the recent history, which is a whole nother video. But to just conclude, will Summonable Ultras be crazy or as bad as like a Beerus type? Basically, the game when Beerus came out wasn't in its it's hard to say. The game wasn't in its best area when Beerus came out. To go over that, they didn't have a lot of units. That's just straight up. Like, we didn't have enough to fill out a minion tag like we do now. We didn't have enough to fill out a Super Warrior tag. We didn't have enough units to fill them out. So, it's not essentially that Beerus was worse than any other unit on release. Well, compare him to like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, both of them on release. Goku had the ability to be good because GT's fleshed out, GT was getting fleshed out with Zenkai's, and then Goku is still pretty mediocre on release. Beerus had that problem, but it's not because of his teams, it's because he didn't have a team. He didn't have a home. Beerus didn't have a unit to like, okay, this guy's going to be my cover, this guy's going to be my support, this guy's going to be my this, until 1st anniversary, which is what, 5-6 months after Beerus dropped. To even look at Gohan, if Gohan the same thing, which it wouldn't be possible because he's Sun Family, obviously Gokus are dropping left and right in a Dragon Ball game. If Gohan had that same thing, he would have been seen as pretty mediocre on release. It's kind of the same thing with Ultras here. They're buffing this Frieza Saga, and yes, Goku's going to look the worst because he wants to be run on it, / with other Saiyans, but primarily you want to run him on Frieza Saga because you have Namek Goku, Ultra Vegeta, Ultra Goku himself, that's going to full color wheel counter everything. But it's also the fact that they don't know what they're doing, essentially. Again, that Super Saiyan thing really hurts Goku. There's just a lot. Like, Zenkai has replaced Goku on every team. You know, you have a Saiyan team, right? Gogeta exists. You have a Sun Family team. Gohan exists, and you want to run this guy with Saiyans, right? You don't want to run him on Sun Family team that's with Gohan, so you want to run him with Saiyans anyways. So, I would say Goku here is in a pretty bad spot to where Vegeta's in an okay one, obviously not having Vegeta family, but with leader skills coming, you know, in the, I guess, this calendar year, he can't change that with obviously being run on Vegeta family as your leader unit. I don't think tags hurt Vegeta as much as they hurt other LFs in the past because leader skills are coming. Given not having, you know, these tags he wants, it does hurt him. It's just not the most important thing to Vegeta because you can't run him on a good team of Namek Saga, which when Goku came out, Ultra Goku obviously I'm talking about, wasn't really good enough to run. You had EX Blue Frieza, you had, I mean, did you even have a purple? You had the EX Krillin, sure, but you just didn't have enough. You had to rely on Blue Namek Goku to carry you, then Ultra Goku would kind of be like your, okay, I'm here, haha, like I can cover somebody, but that's all he's really there for, right? Let me know what you guys think of the future of Ultras, if you guys think they'll be as busted as these LFs we talked about, /mid, /great, /bad, as when they released, Or do you guys think Ultras will just kind of age out, not be the pinnacle of Legends? Because personally, I don't think they will be. I think Ultras will still be second rate to LF Zenkais. Ultras will eventually Zenkai, no doubt. But I don't think they'll be the pinnacle of Legends because Legends cares more about money. And if you obviously promote Legends Limited units, then you're going to promote the Zenkai for them. And then that's just more money, right? Because you're getting them 7 stars. Then you Zenkai the unit. That's more money on top of more money because you have to pull them 7 stars anyways to even Zenkai the LF, which is the hardest thing to do in Legends, pulling an LF to 7 stars. Especially if it's like Piccolo, right? He came out, I mean, not even a full year, maybe just a little bit over a full year after his Zenkai. Let me know what you guys think, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.